Okay, earlier we looked at a very short paragraph on English classes. And I use these particular topics not to complain about English classes, but it gets me talking sometimes in class with students who maybe haven't had good experiences or whatever, and try to get on the same page. Now, that particular paragraph was right here. English classes are always bad. They always seem to repeat what you already know. You need to memorize all kinds of rules and exceptions. The topics of English projects are terrible. I've never liked English. That's fine. Talked about what words seem to be a problem. How would you improve upon it? Let's think about that. In the topic sentence, I think I noted the word bad is a killer. And sometimes students use things like that. It doesn't define itself. I don't know why they're bad. I don't know what that means. I don't really have anything to compare it to. Bad as compared to a hangnail, bad as the worst thing on earth. I don't know what that means. It doesn't let the student write well when you use a topic sentence like that. And then I have what basically amounts to a list of complaints, basically. And my conclusion restates English classes are always bad, but there's no real depth. It's very simplistic. Now, here's what I would suggest we want to think about today. The first time I opened up the textbook for written communication skills, and you talked about a one paragraph essay, I almost choked because in my world, essays are something that are different from paragraphs. Essays are made up of paragraphs, but by themselves, an essay doesn't do the job. For our purposes, I'm going to use their vocabulary and talk about a one paragraph essay. I kept the bad, poorly written topic sentence because I thought the students would be familiar with it. English classes are always bad. Again, I would define bad in some way, make it usable. But my next sentence and the sentences in purple are used, they're called subtopic sentences, and they are used here to provide some clarification. In what way? What do you mean they're bad? Explain. I think this is generally how we communicate anyway. We always like to be more descriptive than 4 to 6 sentences allow. So if I look at a cleaned up paragraph, revised to something a little more usable, I add 3 subtopic sentences that sort of clarify and specify what I'm talking about. So that topic sentence states English classes are always bad, but I add the next sentence. Part of the problem is the teacher. Now I can talk about the teacher. And again, we use this in my classes to talk about the sort of class that the students don't want to be in, and not coincidentally, it's often the kind of class I wouldn't want to teach. But anyway, the problem is the teacher. In what way? The teacher is almost always a person who repeats what you already know. They are very redundant. I've taken one element, the teacher, and applied in 2 sentences specifically what the problem is there. My next subtopic, and I transition. Another problem is the way the class is set up. What do you mean by that? Well, I need some support to make that a fact. You need to memorize all kinds of parts of speech, grammatical rules, comma, and once you do that, they tell you there are exceptions to those rules. Did everybody catch the uppercase A that needs to be fixed? Why can't things be consistent? I have quickly put together 2 to 3 sentences supporting why the setup of the class is a problem. I get to my last subtopic sentence. Finally, the writing projects are a waste of time. Of course, they aren't in here. You can never write about what you want to write about. The topics are either ripped from the book or worse, from the teacher's train of thought. I've never liked English. Now, again, I put this not to complain about teachers, by the way. but to kind of get a conversation with the students. I have added some depth. I have added three particular specific points to guide my reader through my train of thought. You'll notice I'm way past my 4 to 6 sentences here, which goes back to my original definition. As soon as a student tells me 4 to 6 sentences are the definition of a paragraph, this is what we work from. And by the way, you'll come to love English class, trust me. That will be our connective piece for today.